What is faith, right? Faith, we just talked about, is this total trust that's everything's going to work out. Confidence is a projection of faith, right? That everything's going to work out. You think about even in terms of relationships, right? I was watching this movie recently, actually two movies that go hand in hand. By the way, I love chick flicks. My wife and I watch them together, but I really enjoy the playfulness and the humor. I love funny movies, but chick flicks are very cute. Well, the funny ones, really. But I was watching two movies. I Feel Pretty. You have to watch that one. And there's another movie called Brittany Runs a Marathon. And I Feel Pretty is about this girl who basically, she's a little on the larger side, and then she has an accident, hits her head or something like that. And she suddenly wakes up, stands in front of the mirror, and she sees herself as this skinny, super attractive person. And because she sees herself as that, she can't believe that no one else can't see that, and that she's the only person who sees it. She thinks she's now transformed into this like skinny, attractive person physically. And that feeling that it gives her is this insane confidence in herself that she is wanted by men, that she can do whatever she wants, like, in terms of her job and her expression. Earlier, she worked like, basically, think about it, she worked for a big company, but she worked in the basement. And she manifests her way to go all the way working for a fashion company as a secretary, when normally they would want someone who fits a certain physical identity. But she thinks she looks like that. She thinks she is that. And so she manifests that job, standing in front of them with this insane amount of confidence. And people keep coming up to her, new clients, whatever, as this receptionist, right? And they look at her with this face of like, oh my God, do you even fit here? And somehow her confidence in herself is so beautiful that her confidence and her faith that she's in the right place, it's all going to work out, she's going to be tremendously successful, deflect their energy. And she gets on to something about being funny or playful or whatever, not deflecting their insult, but almost weirdly redirecting their insult as them having a difficult day or frustrating day, and not a reflection of her whatsoever. And it's so amazing. I loved at least the first 60 to 70% of the movie was so incredibly educational for me. I love learning from all these different things that I spoke about it to my clients as well. And how especially women, right? Women are so, I'll say judged by society to fit into a certain role, a certain shape or whatever. And there's so much like propagation about what the right size and shape is, that women have forgotten their own size and shape, and they only want to achieve a certain kind naturally to get the love and a validation of an entire world. But this movie showed that this woman saw herself as a certain way, and that's all that fucking mattered. And because of that, she had this insane sense of like confidence and love in herself, that she manifested partners when earlier she would self-abandon and manifest people who would mistreat her. She started manifesting partners who wanted to love her, and she was not used to it at the start, but then she loved and believed in herself so much because she saw herself a certain way, that she continued to have that life. And it was really incredible to watch. And one more point about the other movie, which is Brittany Runs a Marathon, really beautiful, about the same, a similar story, a woman who's a little larger, and she wants to change her life, but she's so victimized. She's like, the gym is expensive, so I can't go. Like, this is something, so I can't go. And that's what keeps her in that wounded cycle, right? Which keeps her exactly where she is. She ultimately gets inspired by a neighbor, and she starts to take a few steps and start to run. And then, running is free naturally. And she starts to get really into it, and she sees the change that it brings to her life. She gets really like disciplined about it. But the feeling it gives her, because she's noticed the change. This is more important than the change, is the feeling you get because you've noticed the change. And the feeling she gets when she's noticed that she's losing weight, that she's amongst people who find her more like, attractive now, similar belief systems, like they're taking care of themselves. She starts to feel the same, supremely confident, in love with herself and everything. And because of that, this is closer to the example of faith. She feels like she's got something going for her that's incredible, which is this running thing. She has a goal, which is the marathon that she's going to run. And because of that, everything in her life is working out, that she takes amazing chances with her life, with work, with whatever else, gets a beautiful, like, connections with people. People are interested in her. All of that stuff starts to work out really beautifully. And it's not because of the running, it's because of the feeling she has because of the running, the goals of the running, which is like, having a target, the losing the weight, the alignment of being with similar people. That feeling is a feeling of confidence, a feeling of faith that everything's going to work out for me. And that I therefore don't have to stress about my present, and I don't have to be angry about my past. This is what's really important. That feeling of faith that everything's going to work out because of how much you love your life. It takes away the attachment of my present is like shitty or things are bad. And it makes you also forget the resentment you have for your past, that things have been bad or things didn't work out for me or someone did hurt me or I don't have money, any of that shit. And so she enjoys her life so beautifully. And then something, I really like the way they ended the movie, actually. That you'd think that, oh, yeah, this is a hero story. She's done well. It's a true story, by the way. She's done well, changed her life, lost a shit ton of weight, like 80 or 90 pounds, blah, blah, blah. And that's a success story. But then she breaks her leg because this is what's so crazy. She gets so attached to this marathon idea, and she notices that her weight starts to table, right? So her goal was like 153. She gets to 159 pounds. And then she's noticing that she's not going below that. But she also feels like it's only the marathon thing that's changing the way she feels, that's getting her like attention from men, that's getting her higher success at work or whatever. So then she thinks, now this is what's so beautiful. She's lost faith in this point. She's got into an attachment at this point. So she pushes herself harder. She starts to run more, pushes herself, then she gets a fracture and she can't run anymore. And because she can't run anymore, in her head, she sees this loss of the marathon, the loss of the running, which is the attachment now. Earlier was faith. She sees that as what made her feel confident and beautiful and amazing. So now she goes back to being vicious. She starts putting on weight. She starts going back to being victimized because she can't access it because of the running. And the incredible part that I noticed is she lost faith. She lost faith in the fact that her life was getting better. She lost faith in the fact that she deserves beautiful love and that it will work out and she'll have it, because the things she was attached to went. And she returns to her former self. The rest of the movie, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to kill it. I know this is not a movie review show as much as my wife would like, because she was like, you should review that, that recent movie we watched. It's a tennis movie called Challengers about a love triangle. Please watch it. It's amazing. The dynamic is beautiful. This is not a movie recording podcast. This is a relationship review podcast, I guess. And I don't want to tell you more of what happened there, but it reminds me of our relationships today, where in the beginning, when you get into a relationship with someone, or you maybe start a job, or you just have something going for you, or you just get a salary or money coming in, at that period of time, there's an incredible level of faith that life's going to work out. Life's going to be beautiful. I'm going to have beautiful babies with this man. I'm going to be rich and have my money is going to take me places. And then when it comes to more of this attachment to this thing, right? In the beginning, it's we're playing with this thing. Then you get an attachment to this man or woman. You get an attachment to this job. You get an attachment to the money. You get an attachment to your physical state of being. That when any of them change in any way, let's say the man's not actually as amazing as you thought, or that something happens in his life and he changes, or that his wounded programming comes out, your emotional state, our emotional state absolutely changes. Suddenly we the money isn't showing up in the bank. Something happened at work. Maybe I got fired. Maybe there's layoffs. Maybe I had to get a pay cut. And suddenly it's changed my emotional state of being completely because of one key thing. Not just that I'm attached to them. When you're attached to something, you have no faith. I think that's what I've realized about faith and attachments, is that they're the opposites. When you're really attached to something, you don't have faith that it'll be completely okay. And so you move to an attachment because you don't have faith that you will have more money in the future, that this relationship will work out, or that you will have a better one. And so what do we start doing now? We start getting into some of the wounded places of what happens, of what comes out of it. Are you hurting from shame, loneliness, toxic relationships? Do you want to break that pattern and create a beautiful, loving life for yourself? Well, my name is Yats, and I'm an inner work and relationship guru. And I have helped thousands of women and men from all around the world learn to become their best selves and have the lives that they truly want and desire. This channel was designed for you to be able to heal those old wounds, be able to become and elevate your best self, and to you to love your life really that you have right now. And I offer an 8-week program called the GAUNTLET, which takes you on this amazing journey of healing those wounds. And I also offer in-person live retreats all around the world where you can access that same level of healing and empowerment. I want you to do something for you today. I want you to watch some of these videos. And if these videos hit close to home, they resonate with you and they're giving you some inspiration, then I want you to subscribe and share it with somebody else who needs it. These videos aren't just for someone to consume. They're meant to inspire people to take action. And if you want to take action in your own life, jump in the comments, watch the videos, send me a DM at @TheInnerYats on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video.